Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back with a new video. Prepping, Survival, and Beyond. This is a video response to GeneralSLee's video, SHTF, the Infinity Principle, where he was doing a video response to James Yeager's video on the topic of food storage, food prep, on your food preps. And if I got this right, the idea goes, you would go from 3 weeks to 3 months, and 3 months to 6 months, then 6 months to a year, and then from a year and to infinity. And it's, I'd say in terms of getting storage made, getting things having enough set aside, I think it's a good idea. But when GeneralSLee posed a question at the end of his video about what would constitute infinity, I gotta be honest, I drew a blank. Oh, by the way, this is a new bench press I picked up, and you can see the barrel for the Remington 870. This is kind of like a teaser, so I got that in the video. But yeah, I drew a blank. I thought about it. I said, what could I put in as a response? And I couldn't think of what would constitute infinity. I thought about putting something smart, some smart ass comment like, a smoldering crater seems to be about infinite as anything else. But I decided not to put that. Thinking about it just for a few minutes. Infinity. What would be infinity? What would mean that this is it? This is like nothing's going back to how it to how things are going to be. And the best thing I can think of is how easy would it be to have a full stomach. The idea of having food preps is that you have enough food to sustain you through through a certain period of time. But something I thought, and this is something I've actually pondered on over the years. I don't need, me personally, I can eat a whole lot. I can eat. Let's see if I can. What can I equate it? What kind of example I can give you? Like a large Papa John's Supreme Pizza. I can eat that whole thing by myself, and I'll have a full stomach. But if it came down to a matter of survival, of course I'm gonna stretch that out to where it gets me by, for whatever activity I have to do for that day. And there are times when I've worked on back breaking, hard sweating, bruise up knuckle projects without eating, because all I had was a motivation to get X done, get this thing done, then I could just rest. So I wasn't focused. So I personally wasn't focused on eating. Now that's not just, I can't speak for everyone else, but I love to eat. I can eat a whole lot of food, but I'm not so. But I can get a lot of things done on very little. I can get a lot of things done. With not being full. But just having, just having my taste satisfied for just for that time being. And and the concept of having a full stomach means that you have everything you need and beyond that. But if we're talking about a situation where it's going to be having food may be more scarce, I don't think you should be focused on having a full stomach. I think that's. I wonder if when people talk about three meals a day, are you talking about having 3 full stomachs a day, or just having enough food to get you through this point in time? Because if it came down to being 3 meals a day, I'm pretty sure 3 meals a day, if under certain conditions, would stretch out to maybe a week's worth of food. And it also depends upon how big the portions are. And it also depends upon how much you can get done with very little calories being brought into your diet. And at that point, then if it gets to the point where you're just surviving, you're prepping to get to the point where you can just survive, day to day, then a full stomach is not gonna. A full stomach, I don't think should matter. If you're still alive, then you're good. If you can stretch it out even more, that's even better. But I think once you get to the point where you can't sustain a full stomach, the thought of having a full stomach, the thought of being full is not doesn't register with you at that point in time. I think that might be infinity. That might be infinity in itself. You're at that point you're working to produce food so that you just have enough to eat. Let alone have a full stomach. I think once you get beyond the point, once you get to the point where you have a surplus, of food that you can not only have to enjoy yourself, but to trade for other things, then I would say infinity might be done at that point. Then I guess at that point you're thriving. So, yeah, I guess it comes down to how long can you go on very little food? How long can you go without experiencing having a full stomach for quite some time? How much food do you have put aside? To where you basically if you're prepping for survival, you learn to stretch it out. Until you have a surplus, you're basically it's just I'm gonna have this small amount so I can get all this work done. And then maybe next day I can have this small amount, but maybe I can cut back a little more since I was able to get all of this done the day before. Like I said, when I first thought about it, I can't think of what infinity would be. But I'm gonna say that from the Monty 500 A perspective, infinity is the point where you don't entertain the thought of having a full stomach. Once you can have a full stomach, then I think actually you're back to back to normal, I suppose. Please tell me what you think. What are your thoughts on the concept of prepping, food prepping to infinity? For one, I would even say that I think Axe brought up the point of food production, if I'm not mistaken. If you can't produce food now, then you're gonna be lost. Hope I credit that point. Hope I credit that to the right person. But tell me what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section. I'm gonna leave a link to GeneralSLee's video in the description box. Look forward for more on the series of the beater shotgun project on the Remington 870. Got the receiver all disassembled right here. Gripes, complaints, send me a PM. I'll see what I can do to address them. But that's my video. Prepping, survival, and beyond. I'm Edward Jones, and thanks for watching.